Hello, welcome back to today's episode. So today we'll be talking about Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar, who was a former Roman emperor and a dictator. So today I'll be telling you about this great person's story and how he became to become a dictator of the Roman Empire and also to be known for what he had done. So many people don't know what type of person Julius Caesar was, and Julius Caesar is a person also who has inspired me and also has inspired a lot of people. And some of the things I'll tell you which he has inspired me of, I'll be telling you on this video. So Julius Caesar has done a lot of things. Some of them is conquering and also expanding the Roman Empire. So Julius Caesar, when he was a young boy, his parents had died when he was at a young age. So his uncle took up that role for his parenthood. So the uncle is the one who trained Julius Caesar and the one who brought up Julius Caesar. And at that time in the Roman Empire, there were two leaders, the uncle and another leader, which this leader managed to kill the uncle of Julius Caesar because there were enmity between the two of them. So this enmity between the two of them was brought about when this other side thought that the uncle of Julius Caesar would be able to inherit the kingdom of Rome. So he had to eliminate the uncle of Julius Caesar. And after eliminating the uncle of Julius Caesar, he sought up to eliminate the next person, who was Julius Caesar, who would take up the mantle of his uncle. So trying to eliminate Julius Caesar, he met face to face with this king, and this king saw that Julius Caesar was a boy who was so much determined, and this boy, when he will be left alone, this boy will cause a lot of havoc. So what he decided to kill Julius Caesar, but the person who he sent to kill Julius Caesar decided to let him go and told him to travel in another land, in another area, where in this area he will be able to be free and not be killed by this other ally of him, his enemy. So this person who saved Julius Caesar saved him because he saw some determination in Julius Caesar, because Julius Caesar was a person who could say the truth no matter what consequences he will have to face. So when this person came and was able to save Julius Caesar and told Julius Caesar to go to another island and to go there where he'll be able to stay for some time before this other leader is able to die. When he dies, he'll be able to come back. So Julius Caesar left his daughter and also left his wife. And one thing Julius Caesar pleaded to the other king who wanted to take his life, to leave alone his wife, because he wanted him and his wife to divorce. But Julius Caesar refused, because one of the reasons why he refused, he said that his wife is very intelligent and he should leave alone the wife. If anything has to happen to his family, let it happen to him. Nobody should touch his wife. So when Julius Caesar was given a ransom by this person was Pompey. His name was Pompey. Pompey, when he gave him that ransom to run away and go take refuge in another country before this other leader grows up and dies. So when Julius Caesar was traveling with the boat, when he was going to that particular country, some pirates were able to take over that ship, and taking over that ship, they were able to be taken as captives. After being taken as captives, what they did, they were killing the people on that boat. But Julius Caesar told them, there's no need for me to kill me, because I am more worth when I'm alive than when I'm dead. So what Julius Caesar was meaning, that he was meaning that if you could take him as a ransom and tell the people to produce that particular type of money they want, they would produce him as long as he is alive, because he was a person who was in a certain type of hierarchy in the country of Rome. So these people, and even Julius Caesar told them, if you want to ask for a particular type of ransom, don't ask the normal type of ransom. Just ask double that money or triple that money. But Julius Caesar told them, as when you've been given this ransom, just know I'll come back and take your lives. So they were able to ask for the ransom, and Julius Caesar was able to be taken back to Rome because the people who they asked the ransom, they were able to give out the ransom, and that's how Julius Caesar was able to be saved. So remember the promise that Julius Caesar told them: after you release me and I'll be free, I'll come back and kill all of the people who are taken me into ransom, because they bet Julius Caesar and also they mistreated him. So Julius Caesar again gathered up all his troops and went back to the island where they had kidnapped him, and was able to kill everybody which had kidnapped him. So Julius Caesar, going back to his country, Rome, at that time Pompey was a close friend to the king. So Pompey, what he did, he assassinated the king, and after assassinating the king, he was able to become the next emperor and also the next dictator of Roman Empire. So one thing, Pompeo and Julius Caesar were friends. And remember at that time, Julius Caesar had a daughter and also had a wife and that time the wife got pregnant, and she was expecting soon to have a child. So at that time, Julius Caesar, it said there was a particular time where Julius Caesar was in a particular adventure where he saw the statue of Alexander the Great. So when he saw the statue of Alexander the Great, he cried a lot, because he saw that Alexander the Great at his age, which Julius Caesar was 32. At the age of 32, Alexander the Great had done a lot of things. And if you want to check out the story of Alexander, I've released it in my previous video. You can just go and check about it. This is a person who is he came from the Greek community, and he was a conqueror. So, and he conquered a lot of amount of regions, and he conquered almost the whole known world, up to the Indian, to the Egyptian side, to the Persian side. He conquered a lot of things. So Julius Caesar, seen the statue of Alexander the Great, he cried and said, at this age, at 32, Alexander the Great had already conquered the whole world, because I think Alexander the Great died at the age of 33. So Julius Caesar, seeing this, he cried on the statue of Alexander the Great. And one thing Julius Caesar promised himself: before he dies, he will have conquered the whole world and will have brought fame and also prosperity into the country of Rome, and will become a legend. So this is when the journey of Julius Caesar started, of him becoming a legend. So days went by, and Julius Caesar decided, when he went back to Rome, that this was in another particular country where he had went to visit. When he went back into Rome, his wife was expectant, and the wife being expectant, when it came to the delivery time of giving birth to the baby, the wife didn't manage to give birth to the baby. The wife succumbed when she was giving birth, she succumbed, and also the baby which she was supposed to give birth, also the baby succumbed. So Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar was left with the daughter, and also him alone. So it was so lonely. So Julius Caesar decided to acquire another wife, and this wife came about. This wife is called Cornelia, and I'll be telling you the story of this Cornelia. Before, there's something great which this Cornelia and Julius Caesar, in a argument which they had, they did something great which I also admire it. I'll be telling you in the end of the story about what they had done, because this story happened when Julius Caesar was almost to die. So Cornelia became the wife to Julius Caesar, and becoming the wife to Julius Caesar, she had to take care of the other child, the daughter of Julius Caesar. So at this time is when Julius Caesar had vowed to go and also to conquer the Amas region of the world. And one thing Julius Caesar was good at was the oratory, and also he was good at speeches. His speeches were top notch. He would perform speeches which will attract large crowds and also would move hearts of men, and also the speeches were wonderful. So later on, this gift of his is something that Pompeo, who was right now was the king of Rome, had envied and had seen this was a gift to of Julius Caesar, because Julius Caesar would take everybody on his side and will easily persuade people to become on his side. So this led him to be a great military person and also a great politician. So later on in the years, Julius Caesar told Pompeo that he needs to go and conquer large amount of lands in the other areas of the country, and these areas he will be able to conquer them, and also what he gets he will bring back to Rome. So Rome in another way will get rich and also richer and richer, and its region will become big. So this was a deal which they had done with Pompeo. After doing this deal with Pompeo, Julius Caesar set remember that time Pompeo was also a military leader. So Julius Caesar asked Pompeo to give him some troops where he will be able to go with these troops. And that time the troops were called legions. So he was able to be given the legions to go and fight and also conquer. And he promised back that he promised back Pompeo that he'll bring a lot of wealth and he'll bring a lot of fame to Rome. So Pompeo allowed Julius Caesar to go on with his dreams and to go on with his career. As long as Julius Caesar was far away from Pompeo, Pompeo had no trouble, because Julius Caesar being together in that particular country will bring a lot of enmity between these two people, because one is a person who was being liked because of how he spoke, and another one was a person who wanted to become and also to be liked. So this brought a lot of enmity between Julius Caesar and also Pompeo. But Julius Caesar being away from the kingdom of Rome helped Pompeo be able to rule this kingdom without any pressure. And when Julius Caesar was away, one thing Pompeo knew, that Julius Caesar won't be able to conquer these other kingdoms. So it was a benefit for him, because he knew in the other end Julius Caesar will die in that other kingdom. So Julius Caesar went to conquer another village and also a kingdom which was called Gaul. And this kingdom called Gaul had a lot of warriors, and these warriors were compared to the warriors like the Vikings warriors. And this Vikings warrior would, even if it is one person left to die, they will fight until they die. These people were warriors. They were meant to be warriors. So he met with another kingdom called Gaul, and he saw that there were no people fighting like these people. They were the best in fighting, and they were so aggressive. So when he went to Gaul to fight over there, at that time he was burning down villages so he could be able to conquer the greater city of Gaul. So when there was a village which he approached and he burnt, but there was only one person who remained to protect the village, and that person was called Vercingetorix. So later on in the years, we'll see what this Vercingetorix had to do, and also had to face a battle with Julius Caesar. But at that time, when Julius Caesar saw that he was the only person who was left to fight him, what Julius Caesar did later on in the years, at that time Julius Caesar they wanted to kill Vercingetorix, but Julius Caesar decided to let them leave him alone and also let him go away free. So this is one of the decisions which I don't agree with Julius Caesar, because this Vercingetorix, after letting him go, Vercingetorix decided to go and also gather up troops, and also troops that will be against Julius Caesar and will fight against Julius Caesar. So later on, when Julius Caesar decided to leave him alone, he went and he started telling other tribes to unite so that they can fight against Julius Caesar. So later on in the years, Julius Caesar was able to approach a particular city, where at that city they were fighting against the same person who he had left years before left him before and also saved his life, Vercingetorix. He had decided to gather up troops to fight against Julius Caesar. So Julius Caesar engaged a fierce battle with these Vercingetorix and also his other tribes. They were a little bit even, and Julius Caesar also had his casualties, which died later on in the years. So later on in the years, when time went by, Julius later on when Julius Caesar was able to besiege a city, and that city he was able to besiege the city because Vercingetorix had retreated because Julius Caesar and his army were more strong and had more tactical, although the other tribes had more troops and also had more manpower, but Julius Caesar was more used to in this military and also had more tactics than the other side. So they were able to besiege a particular city, and this city, Julius Caesar was inside there. Vercingetorix was inside the city, and also his troops. So this battle is a battle which is known, and also it is a spectacular battle on what Julius Caesar had done. So what Julius Caesar did, he besieged the city, and after besieging the city, there were other tribes which were outside. So Julius Caesar built a wall so that nobody can enter and nobody can get out of this city. So Julius Caesar was given time. So before the other tribes will manage to enter, he would have killed these other tribes which were inside, and they will not be able to unite, because if this tribe gets out and these other tribes get out, they'll be able to besiege Julius Caesar. So days went on when Julius Caesar was besieging this particular city. And when he was besieging this particular city, Vercingetorix and the people who were inside started starving to death because the food was cut out. The food that was meant to come into the city, the Julius Caesar used to take that food and also give to his soldiers. And one thing Julius Caesar did was he motivated his soldiers through speeches, and he was able to hold down his soldiers because some of his soldiers were also dying because of hunger. So Julius Caesar took that mantle, and as a leader, he motivated his soldiers to continue fighting and also continue because their vision is to take over this city. So he made their vision so clear, and he made their purpose clear. So later on in the days, Vercingetorix decided he can't take it no more. So what he did, he surrendered the children first. After surrendering the children, what Julius Caesar did, Julius Caesar didn't have any heart to take the children, because if he took the children and also the women, they will finish the food which the soldiers of Julius Caesar had only left. So what Julius Caesar did, he returned back the children. After returning back the children to where in that particular city, starvation, birds started going up to that city because people were dying in that city. So later on, Vercingetorix decided this was too much, and he decided to give himself up and decided to give up. So when he gave up himself, he was taken as a captive, and this was a great battle victory for Julius Caesar in this particular region. So later on, Julius Caesar returned to Rome. When he was returning to Rome, remember Julius Caesar had a child, and this child, one thing Julius Caesar decided to give this child to Pompeo so he could be able to besiege Pompeo, to also allow him to continue going into more battles and also conquering more regions. So this daughter was able to get married to Pompeo, and Pompeo getting married to the daughter was able to get a child. And during this time when Julius Caesar was in battle, the child was able to got pregnant, and also when she was given birth, remember the same fate which happened to the mother is the same fate which happened to Julius Caesar's daughter. Julius Caesar didn't manage to live, and she died when she was given birth. And this affected so much on Pompeo because Pompeo loved this particular daughter so much of Julius Caesar. So later on, we see Julius Caesar, when he was returning back to Rome, Pompeo was not for it. So Pompeo and Julius Caesar went into a fierce battle, and where Julius Caesar was able to win. And after winning, he was able to acquire the whole Rome and also acquire he brought a large amount of wealth into Rome. So later on in the years is when Julius Caesar was able to, I don't know if you know this beautiful queen which was known as Cleopatra, and Cleopatra was a queen. Even today we know of her beauty, and many people talk about Cleopatra. Cleopatra was a queen of Egypt, where she ruled in this particular place of Egypt. And ruling in Egypt, Cleopatra was looking for a husband, and also was looking for a person who will help Cleopatra become the queen of Egypt. So Julius Caesar came at the right time when he wanted to see Egypt, and Julius Caesar was able to get married to Cleopatra, which they did some ceremonies of Egyptian ceremonies. And these Egyptian ceremonies, although the Romans were against this, but Cleopatra had to do these ceremonies because it will show that the two kingdoms are united. So Julius Caesar was able to get the hand in marriage for Cleopatra. And Julius Caesar later on, remember Julius Caesar had a wife called Cornelius. Julius Caesar had a wife called Cornelius. And this wife, remember the story which I told you, I'll tell you in the end of this episode. So Julius Caesar, after marrying Cleopatra, later on in the years when Julius Caesar now went to conquer also Saudi Arabia over there, and that is where his famous quote, which it states that I came, I saw, and I conquered. Veni vidi vici. I came, I saw, and I conquered. This is when he was able to, when he went to Saudi Arabia, he saw and he also conquered the region of Saudi Arabia. So when he went back to Rome, at that time when many people were against him, because still Julius Caesar was around 52, was still young, and he was still ambitious. So people saw that his ambition, they didn't want his ambition, so they wanted his ambition to just end where it was. So later on in the days is when the people of the Roman Senate were able to try and assassinate Julius Caesar. And so you remember the beginning of the video when I told you about the wife Cornelius, which she had done a particular thing which will affect Julius Caesar later on in life. So Cornelius had a dream, and this dream had showed that that Julius Caesar will die the following day. So and these dreams showed that Julius Caesar will be stabbed multiple times, and being stabbed multiple times will succumb to his death. And the people who stabbed Julius Caesar are his fellow congressmen in that particular Senate, which Julius Caesar will have a meeting the following day. So in the morning after Cornelius had this particular dream, she went running to Julius Caesar. And remember, at this time, Julius Caesar was married to the other wife, which was Cleopatra, and Cleopatra had already had a son. And this son was, Julius Caesar denied the son was his, but also Cleopatra was insisting the son was for Julius Caesar. So at this time, when the Cornelius went to Julius Caesar and told Julius Caesar, I had a dream, and this dream told me that you're going to be stabbed and you're going to die today. So Julius Caesar told the wife, I will not let dreams and also flights of birds and also weather dictate my actions. So Julius Caesar eventually went to that particular meeting, and after going to that meeting, Julius Caesar succumbed to the death which the wife had dreamed about. The same way the wife had dreamed about and warned Julius Caesar, he succumbed to that particular death. But all in all, this is something which has inspired me, and also is something which is great, and also to look upon what Julius Caesar had done. Because one of the things, Julius Caesar refused to be dictated by dreams and also flight of birds on what his actions will be. Because if he was just a mere man, he will just say, I'm afraid I won't go to this particular meeting, because he let he himself be dictated by his own actions. And this is some of the things which great people like Alexander the Great, and also the Genghis Khan, the conqueror of the Mongol Empire, do. They are people who are dictated by their own actions. They don't let birds and also superstitions of other things dictate on what they will do. So although Julius Caesar died, but at least he did what his heart said and what he wanted. He didn't do on basic of dreams and other things. So this is something which somebody should look upon, although it can be your death, but as long as you have dictated what will happen next to your life, not looking upon any other person to dictate on what will happen to your life, as long, because one of the thing is your destiny is on your own hands, and everything is on your own will. Whatever you do is up to you. And eventually Julius Caesar had conquered a lot of amount of empires. He fulfilled his purpose and his dream in this life, and this is something which inspires me a lot in Julius Caesar. So if you want to check out the other stories of other conquerors like Alexander the Great, you can check out on the link on top of Alexander the Great. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel and watch out for the next video. I say thank you till we meet next time.